Hello! Gaming food. Right. Oh, everything off the side. A lot of people probably realise I'm a gamer. I'm heavily into Xbox. Just check. Yeah, we just checking we're recording. I did a whole video already and it bloody didn't record properly because the chip decided to pop out. Anyway, yes. Yeah. I'm a gamer. I love Xbox. I love toys, particularly emulators of old games. I've got one of these Chinese knockoff things that I use at work on the break. Basically this emulates Mega Drive, Super Nintendo games. I particularly enjoy the Super Star Wars games. But the video is basically about things to eat whilst you're gaming. One of the mistakes a lot of people make is they use foods that are sticky or crummy or end up dropping down your chin all over your chest. Yes. I bought these the other day in the American foods aisle. Oddly enough, from reading the packaging, it's a little bit naughty, but these shouldn't really be classed as American foods. These Jack Link, they're made with New Zealand beef, which I think's a little bit naughty personally. You know, if you're going to sell the product saying it's a Texas jerky, then you should really say where the beef's coming from on the front, because it does give people the assumption that the beef must be Texas beef, you know, which sort of defeats the object of making a product, in my opinion. If you're going to lie about where it's from, it'd be like me buying a Rolls Royce and boasting to people this is a British Rolls Royce, handmade British, and it turns out that all of the parts for it come from China. It's a bit naughty. Anyway, I'll give it a go. The original It's quite chewy, quite fruity as well. Yeah, yeah. Tastes very beefy. Doesn't taste too dried out. Still got a bit of the moisture still in it. Yes, nice. Yeah, that one's quite good. I'll give points after I've tried them all, because you know. Tastes about the same really. Sweet and hot, this is. It's just like the first one, but the volume turned up just a tiny bit. And this one is teriyaki, I think. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. Just tastes like the first one. Got a little bit more of a spice that hits your throat. but there's not a lot of difference. Well, out of the three, I'd say get the original. The other two barely taste any different. I'd give that a 17 out of 17. I'd definitely eat this again, particularly if I was going to be playing a game like Fallout Vegas or something, because it's quite chewy, quite tasty. This I'd give it a low. I'd give it a 10 out of 17. It doesn't really taste any different from the other one. The only difference is it's got a little bit sort of a hot feeling in your throat, and that's about it. And the sweet and hot, I'll just give it one more little taste. I give this a 15 out of 17. I'd probably go for this if they didn't have any of the original, because it does have a slight sweetness to it, but it hardly tastes any different from the original. You know, I've had jerky before from my local butchers. Used to do it. It was run by a South African fella. Now, if you're going to have a proper meal whilst gaming, and you don't want too much of a break from the action, flatbreads. Now, flatbreads are good because they don't have crumbs. As long as you've secured them well, you don't have the contents spilling out all over the place. This one here is coronation chicken and rocket salad. Rocket is very good for an additive to things, I find. It's a bit like the Worcester sauce of salad, in that you can put it with anything and it increases the flavour. I've even had it on lamb that I grilled, and I put some rocket on it, and it just made it taste like $1 million. Yes, yes, that's very tasty. The other one I've got is egg mayonnaise. I get egg mayonnaise in pots from Tesco's, like I've got the coronation chicken, and they're in what's known as sandwich fillers, in the cold section, and it makes everything a lot easier. You know, you don't have to be buggering around for half an hour with food mixers and stuff. You just get it done there and then you can get back to playing Elder Scrolls, you know. Mm. 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 Some foods really work with gaming. Others seem to work, but they don't. My advice to gamers is don't use popcorn. Popcorn is a pain in the arse, as well as chocolate chip cookies. The crumbs and the chocolate chips will get everywhere. They'll stick to your clothes, they'll stick to the sofa or the armchair. It's just something to avoid. You want to eat something that's not going to produce a large mess. It's like sweeties. My advice is, sweetie wise, gourmet jelly beans or marshmallows. Mm. Avoid anything with sherbet on them. like bonbons, or you'll end up looking like you've got a crack habit, and it will make your controller sticky. The longest game I ever played on a console was Fallout 3, and I had to throw away my controller. Fortunately, I got a new machine, so I got a new controller, but the controller I had so many bits in it, it'd rattle from me eating the wrong things, like chicken. I'd eat chicken, sweet chili legs and things like that, and the grease got into everything, and I'd clean it, but it was never completely clean, and it was just a pain in the arse in the end. I ate a lot of these when I decided to play through the whole series of Mass Effect. I played Mass Effect 1 once before, but the disc was slightly corrupted, so I just binned it because it was buggering up my Xbox. Then I briefly played I can't remember what it was. It was some computer game that was similar to Mass Effect, and I decided, oh no, I'll have a go at Mass Effect again, and I got it as a trilogy box, and it completely blew me away. I bought all the DLC for it that you could, including the altered endings. For me, the two endings that work the most are the red ending and the fuck you ending. Where basically you tell the little child on the big hub, I'm not going to do anything, we'll fight you to the last man. I like that idea the most, because though it was tragic that the civilizations were all destroyed, they'd left messages for the generations afterwards who finally defeated the enemy. I couldn't see that taking away the personality of all the people in the universe, or having Shepard become the controller of all the machines were good. They sort of went against the point of Mass Effect, in that it's about freedom. It's not about control, and it's certainly not about a unalterable authority. So I couldn't see Shepard becoming a god myself. He was too much of a person who followed orders, who was kind. Well, I always play him as a kind person. I understand some people do play the character as a jerk, and a jerk is more likely to have an ego to become a god. But the way I played it, no. I don't believe people should be forced against their will to the ideas of a single person. That's in all my politics. It's and that's why I always go with the red or the FU ending. Yeah. Oh, cleaning your controller. This is a really important thing. Mine's actually quite clean because I cleaned it the other day. The stuff I advise people to use is, don't use towel roll, use man-sized handkerchiefs, a nice flat, absorbency, and so you don't have an adverse reaction the stuff you clean it with, because I've seen people cleaning theirs with bleach, which, you know, is great when you got the residue of bleach on it and then you've been playing it for a couple of hours, your hands get sweaty. Also, I've got these funny red blotches on my hands, I don't know where they've come from. Best stuff to use is a hand wipe disinfectant. You know, it'll kill all the bacteria, it'll make the controller smell nice, because there's nothing worse than someone, you go round someone's house and they say, oh, I've got a new game. You pick up their controller and it smells like they've been sort of keeping up their bottom for about a week, where they've been overplaying it, and you know, basically all the crap off your hands gets onto the controller. Controller wise, my favourite controller now is the Xbox controller. I have tried the PlayStation 3 and 4 controllers, and the way the thumbs are is so alien to me now. I can't imagine going for another console. You know, fortunate thing is I've heard that you can get certain mods where you can play PlayStation 4 with an Xbox or Xbox One controller. I don't know whether that's exact fact, but I even like the older model Xbox controller with the button system being a little bit different, mainly because of the way it fits into your hand. It seems a lot more comfortable. But yeah, I gave away my original Xbox. I wish I hadn't now. I might ask my sister if they're not playing with it anymore, can I have it back? Because I really like my old Xbox. I mainly got it because of three games that you just couldn't get on PlayStation 2, which was Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay, Knights of the Old Republic, and Knights of the Old Republic 2. I also got a little bit into Halo for a while, and I had it on my PC for a long time, and then eventually I got Halo 2, which I actually think is the best of the whole series. But I do keep my eye out for new consoles. I've seen one on Xbox and all that. Let's see if I can find it on here. I've put it in my wish list on my Amazon account. But looks quite interesting. It's a console, but it's an Android based console. It doesn't use it uses things that, you know, are quite sort of revolutionary in their ideas that I quite like the look of. Try and find it. Yeah, you can use Steam with it, so you can download games straight from Steam. You don't have to have a great big pile of CDs and DVDs and all that stuff, which, you know, would be quite useful for me. So Android. Sod. So I love Android technology. All my phones are Android. You know, I know people who rant and rave about how wonderful Apple products are, and I'm just like, I'm really not interested. Yeah, there's ones, the Mad Catz Mojo, the Game Stick console, the OU that are quite interesting. Nvidia, that's the one. Nvidia Shield. I'll find it. Yeah, the shield looks really interesting. In that it's an all-in-one system. It's not just sort of it does everything that I like. Like I barely watch regular TV anymore, mainly because there's not really a lot on television that I find even interesting anymore. Bloody search engine on this phone. Yeah, there's a 16 gig model and there's a 500 gig model. I suppose the 500 would be for real hardened gamers, but yeah, the 16 gig model's £150, but the 500 is 220, which is so close to each other. I may go for the 500 gigabyte one when I've got some spare cash. It's basically does everything. I use Amazon TV for a lot of my TV watching now. Probably 90% of it. I don't even watch DVDs that often now. Because basically it's just so easy to use. You just literally hit a button and it's straight there for you. I like YouTube as well because I know it's not a legal thing, but a lot of people put films up on YouTube, old films that I used to watch when I was a kid, and it's easier to watch it on YouTube than pull it out the cupboard, because I've got a cupboard full of about nearly 1,000 DVDs. And hunting for them all is such a palaver that I just find it a lot easier just looking at it on YouTube. I've even found cuts of movies that are better than the DVD version. Particularly Dune. There was a version called the Alan Smithy cut, which I think is a million times better than the cut that was actually in the cinema. It took out a lot of the unnecessary violence, like the bit with Baron Harkonnen killing someone just for his sort of sexual pleasure. It was a lot more smoother, and it had a lot more of the internal monologue stuff that I actually really liked in the early scenes. People talking in their heads. I wish they had that more in films. That you could, similar to a book, you can read what's running through someone's head at the time, but very rarely do they do that on screen. But yeah. Anyway, that's basically all my gaming ideas. The jerky, just go for the original, don't go for the fancy ones, because fancy ones basically just taste like the original with a volume turned up. Flatbread, perfect food for gaming. Also savoury, so you know you're not going to end up with losing all your teeth. And with a rocket, you're putting vital elements into your body that will increase your gaming skills. Also won't give you flatulence like a lot of the stuff like nachos that will end up putting crumbs everywhere and make your controller look like a sort of orange glazed thing. The other advice about reason why you should go for flatbreads as an option is if you've told your girlfriend that you've spent the afternoon doing exercises and you've got a white sofa, don't go for the popcorn option, go for the flatbread option, because she's less likely to believe that you've only been playing your game for 10 minutes if there's popcorn kernels everywhere. Also, if the popcorn's got chocolate in it, she will go freaking mad, because nothing worse than on a white sofa to get chocolate popcorn. Anyway, that's the bit of advice from this 38, soon to be 39. I'm 2 years from being 40. Gamer. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you later.